You can run toward gunfire and still struggle to walk into your own living room.
You can lead under pressure and not know how to talk to your family.
We've lived that tension.
Hi, I'm John. I'm a retired Army veteran, a law enforcement chaplain, a mental health professional, an assistant team leader in a hostage and crisis negotiation team, a husband, and most importantly, a father.
And I'm Sarah. I'm the wife and mom who holds the line at home.
We've seen what trauma does, what silence costs, and what faith can rebuild.
We're here to talk to you about the part that nobody trains you for.
Welcome to After the Call.
See, we figured this out.
We figured it out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to After the Call. Hey, we're gonna have fun with this. This is our first one. We're both like super nervous by this, but hey,
So nervous. I thought, wait a second. 5 seconds ago, before the camera started rolling, you said that I was the only one that was nervous.
well, yeah, because nobody was watching then. But
So,
now I can do it.
so do you think maybe you should say,
Absolutely not.
okay. So
No,
this is
no.
obviously not a podcast about apologies.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
We both have our stress ball.
And not because they're viral on TikTok, according to our daughter. We are holding them because they work.
They work. We are not sponsored by them. Good luck trying to find them places. I've had this in my therapy practice for the last year, and now it's
Yeah. No,
a TikTok video.
Yeah,
which-
Tyler says John was an influencer before he even knew it.
Yep.
So here we go.
all right.
Let's get started.
All right. So welcome to After the Call. Faith, marriage, frontline. This podcast is for veterans, law enforcement officers, sheriff deputies, first responders, and spouses who stand beside them. And we can't exclude partners
Oh,
because some people, they're scared of commitment. Not saying that we have anybody that's like that, but you may be that person that's scared of commitment and scared to get on your knee and ask somebody to marry you. That's okay. If you've ever felt like the world trains you to handle crisis, but nobody trains you to come home and build a healthy marriage, build a healthy relationship, be able to talk to somebody, you're in the right place. So I'm John. I am a retired Army veteran. I'm a law enforcement chaplain. I'm a hostage negotiator. I'm a mental health professional. I serve as the assistant leader on a hostage negotiation team here in Hood County, Texas. But most importantly, I'm a husband and a father and a grandfather.
Mm.
And I go by the name Gunpa. So this is my lovely wife of almost 30 years.
that's been 28.
It'll be 29 this year. Thank you. It's up to you.
We just had an anniversary in February, by the way, and it was 28
The 29 is next.
next year. So after John's long resume, I'm Sarah. I'm John's wife. I'm a mom of girls. I am a grandmother. And I'm also someone who spent years learning what it means to support someone who carries a heavy calling. And I'm still learning that
And you're also
every day.
going to school to become a social worker counselor.
Yes, I am to help out in this little venture that we've started. I've also learned something important along the way. The people who protect everyone else often have the hardest time protecting their own marriages.
You know, in the military and law enforcement, and first responder work, we train to stay alert. We train to stay tough. We keep moving. We keep doing things to help us. But sometimes we take that home with us. But that mindset doesn't automatically switch off when you walk through the door of your house. It doesn't when you get in the car to head home either. A lot of people use that drive home to try to decompress and get going. And sometimes
Especially
you
one
need
of the
more.
tools we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, and sometimes it takes longer than that.
For these marriages, that's why we started this podcast. Not because we have the perfect marriage. We don't? What? I always thought we know. I didn't. And not because we have all the answers, John. But because we've lived the tension between service and family, and we know how easy it is for couples in this world to feel alone.
That we do.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't going to be a polished marriage advice. We've made a lot of mistakes. We've learned a lot of things along the way. We have had anger. We've had emotions. We've had shutdowns. We've had trauma. We've been hyper-vigilant. We've done shift work. We've been apart. We reintegrated. after deployments, after calls, after this, that, bada bing, bada boom, you name it. We've had it. And how we're going to talk about how to lead at work without losing connection at home.
Mm-hmm. We'll also talk about the spouse side of things, something near and dear to my heart, the people holding the home together while their husband or wife carries the weight of the job. Because the truth is, frontline marriages require a different kind of strength.
And one thing, you kind of touched it for a second, it doesn't have to be the husband that is the first responder. It could be the wife that's the first responder and the husband has another job. But trauma is trauma, and it doesn't have a mask, and it's hard to determine. But it's okay. Whatever your situation is, it's okay to have that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Each episode, we're going to have honest conversations, share lessons we've learned the hard way, which I'll just put a little disclosure that is not my favorite part of this podcast. John is an open book. I am more of a silent thinker of the chapter, but we're going to do it the best way we can and talk about practical ways couples can protect their marriage even in their high pressure careers.
Mm-hmm. We are going to talk about faith a little bit. Okay, it does play a huge part in our role. We're going to talk about how it was part of our marriage and it wasn't part of our marriage. To where we are today, where it plays a huge role, not just in our marriage, but with our kids, with different things we do on how that. And I will be the first to admit, yes, I disclosed in the beginning that I am a law enforcement chaplain. I do occasionally drop tactical F-bombs. It happens. You can't take the infantrymen out of the chaplain sometimes. Mm-hmm. I am working on it. I've been working on it for the past 6 years that I've been in this field. But sometimes it comes out. And one thing you'll see is we're very real, we're very raw, and we don't pull punches. So if that's what you're looking for, you're in the right place.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Our goal is simple: to help couples stay connected, stay grounded in their faith, and remember that your marriage is worth guarding.
Yep. If you're a veteran, if you're a deputy, you're a first responder, a spouse of one, hey, we're really glad you're here. Because after the call ends, the most important place leads is still at home. You know, we have traumatic calls that happen all the time. We had one yesterday. And it's hard sometimes to process how to react when you come home.
You ready to get started on episode 1?
Let's do it.
Just so everyone knows, we will be filming these on Wednesday nights, so we can air them on Thursdays. Wednesday? Yeah, well, hopefully, unless, I mean, fellow first responder families, you have everything planned, and then sometimes we learned a long time ago to write things in pencil because they're a lot easier to cross out. Wednesdays are, as of right now, our standing date night. We have a daughter who's at youth group at Lakeside, so shout out to you Lakeside families. And we decided that this would be a good time for us to catch up with each other and catch up with everybody and do it this way. Well, as long as it works. It may not. We'll see.
We'll see. We may have to move to Tuesday nights.
We'll see.
We don't know.
We'll see. So we
Which
decided
will be interesting.
Yeah.
If we have to do it, because Tyler plays softball on Tuesdays, so we'll have to record in the car. So you may see different backgrounds behind us.
Yes. Right now we're in John's office. You may see us at the softball field. We may be in the car. You never know. I mean, We're with our people though, John. So I don't think they care about that.
We may steal a patrol car and do one in a patrol car one day, or a fire truck. That might be kind of cool to steal a fire truck.
I love it.
They leave the keys in the fire truck in Granbury, so that'd be okay.
Tell people that.
Shout out to Station 1.
Don't tell people that. So we decided to call our first, I guess it's our first official episode.
Yep, first
Sounds
episode.
weird to say. Our first episode is called "The Armor Doesn't Come Off Automatically."
What? Yeah. It doesn't? You don't just tap your fingers and it comes off?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Today we're talking about something that a lot of couples experience, but don't always have the words for.
Yeah, the real armor you wear on your job. And we're not talking about your vest. We're not talking about your plates, your plate carriers. We're not talking about your gun belts. We're not talking about your turnouts. We're not talking about any of that stuff. we're actually going to talk about the invisible armor that we wear, that protects our faith. It protects our souls. And that it doesn't always come off.
And for the spouse's side, I know I've been there. Sometimes when the armor doesn't come off, it can feel really confusing. You're expecting your husband or wife to walk in the door and be present with the family, but instead they're quiet, distant, and on the edge.
And, you know, to say that, I don't like to throw movies out there, but the most realistic scene about trauma is in American Sniper, where Bradley Cooper is sitting there watching TV and the TV's off. That is where, you know, I know for me personally, I would go to my nothing box and try to focus on that, even though the kids are running around and all that stuff, because I didn't know how to process it. I didn't know that I should tell my wife the stuff I've done or the stuff I've seen, and it's okay. Or to pick up that phone and call my 3 a.m. buddy and say, hey, I'm struggling. I don't know what to do.
And from the spouse side of things, I only thought, he's been gone all day. I've been with the kids all day. I just made dinner. I started the dishes, and he's watching TV. So I don't know if any of you have been there where I'm not a mind reader. I wish I was. I think a lot of us do. And we just automatically assume the worst, that our spouse is tired of being with us or simply doesn't want to be there, or his mind is somewhere else. And it very well could be, but it also could be there for a very good reason.
You said something about not wanting to be there. I think all of us want to be there, but we don't know how to leave it in our locker. I used to tell my young soldiers all the time, hey, you've got to leave who you are at work there. You've got to be two different people. Which in theory is a great concept. It really is, but it's not practical. It's not realistic. You need that time to decompress, the time to take off your gear, to try to leave your worries behind. And there are some calls, that will stay with you. It happens, but that's when you have to pick up the phone and you have to call a buddy, or you have to sit down with your spouse and say, hey, I'm struggling today. Here's what's going on. I don't know how to process this.
I think for us, a simple phone call from John on the way home from a hard day or a hard call to give me a heads up of what his temperature is going to be when he gets home is completely helpful for me. Some people say, well, you know, they should walk in the door happy all the time. For me, I would rather have a heads up. If things were hard and I need to set the tone of the house to be a little quieter, or give him 10 minutes to take a shower and relax before throwing the day at him, knowing that ahead of time rather than doing the opposite and assuming everything is fine and throwing at him and then getting my feelings hurt for something that I didn't do and he didn't mean to give me. I think just the communication of giving each other a heads up of what, I think that can set the tone for the rest of the day or the end of the shift.
Yeah. And I will say that, you know, law enforcement, firefighters, paramedics, even veterans, military personnel, no one trains us to make that transition. It's not something, you know, the old school mentality of tough. You build up, you good, suck it up. Those days are gone. We are, and we're not pussified or anything like that, but the emotions and the things we're seeing these days aren't normal. The mind's not built to deal with that stuff. You know, in the Army, I was trained how to respond under pressure. In law enforcement, same thing. We're trained to stay safe, to watch our surroundings, and assume things can go bad very quickly, and they do go bad very quickly. But being able to shift fire and adjust and go. Even yesterday, I had 30 seconds and I sent a text, hey, keep me in your prayers, shit's hitting the fan. Just a simple basic text of, hey, I really need your prayers, but I need you to pray for my guys more than me right now because of what's going on. So,
and I think for me, as hard as it was to know that he was struggling, the 30 seconds that he sent, I knew that he would probably be struggling when he got home, and I knew that Tyler and I could get the house quiet. We could get dinner on the table. We could make things as low stress as we possibly could. I knew I could ask where the pitching machine was so I could get her practice if that was the case. I just think that rather than assuming that he's too busy for us, I think it's more partnering with him in the chaos as much as I can, even though I, as a spouse, don't understand it all the time.
And one thing that I've learned, especially lately, of becoming a mental health professional and little tweaks and stuff is, we have dogs, and I know a lot of my deputies have cats. I don't understand it, but they have cats. Cool, whatever.
Cats are great.
We
We have grand kitties.
we do have grandkids.
They're pretty awesome.
I have a friend who has a ferret that he is one of the hardest guys I know. But instead of a dog, instead of a cat, he has ferrets. And, spending 30 seconds or whatnot, and I walk in the door and the dogs are right there. And I sit down in the chair or whatnot, and they climb up. They sense when something's wrong. Our animals are I don't want to say emotional support or anything like that, but they're there because they know us and they sense it. We have a new adventure starting soon with donkey therapy. We have, we are sponsored by Jump Master Life Coaches and Counseling, which is my practice, with another awesome dude that I work with who's a veteran and a first responder daughter that is part of our practice. But we're trying a new thing. It's donkey therapy to help.
Animals know.
Yeah, animals know.
Horses, donkeys, dogs, everything. We what turned into one dog and two dogs in our house has now become more than two. And I just think that as crazy as animals can be, they also can be very therapeutic.
Yes. So as we talk about this and stuff, what does it look like for people in these careers? And it can look a lot different. One of those things is silence, inability over the small things. Sometimes one of those things is short fuses, and it happens. Always scanning the environment. I taught a class in Lubbock that they had just had a shooting 6 months ago. It was actually the first time the officers had been back in the same room since the shooting. And one of them used to go to concerts all over the state of Texas. He hadn't been to a concert in 6 months because he was so hyper-vigilant that he couldn't concentrate on what was going on the stage. He was worried about the threat around him. Sitting with your back to the wall in restaurants. We have it where we go out to dinner, and usually, we go with a close friend or whatnot, and usually my back is to the wall where I'm facing the door because that's where the threat's going to come through. Or if we're in a restaurant, one of us will cover the back door and one of us covers the front door. It's just one of those things because you never know.
And I just get to hang out and eat the food.
Yeah. Feeling that you can't relax. That's huge. We have friends, we have, coworkers and stuff that they can't even relax in their own house because they're afraid something's going to happen. And that's not a way to live. And that's when you need to pick up the phone and say, hey, I need some help. I know for my agency here in Hood County, we've come a long way of where it's not frowned upon to ask for help.
Because it used to be.
It used to be. And dispatch will call me and say, hey, so-and-so really needs to talk to you. Are you available? Or they'll call me on my radio and say, hey, are you available? We have somebody that's in desperate need, needs to talk to you. Yep, hey, not a problem. I'm on my way. It doesn't matter what time. You'll hear throughout our podcast, I think, you'll hear 3 a.m. buddy. That's a huge thing of mine where I always want to make sure that my guys have somebody that, even if it's not me, that they can call at 3 o'clock in the morning and say, hey, I'm hurting. There is a caveat to that. Make sure that your 3 a.m. buddy is somebody of the same sex.
Amen to that, brother.
We'll talk about that in a later episode. Yeah.
Pulling that lid right off.
I just blew it right off. But make sure that your 3 a.m. buddy is somebody of the same sex because the last thing you want to do is add more stress to an already stressful situation and add to it. So,
I think that when John and I mean, not just John, but I think a lot of first responders don't realize that when they come home and they've been dealing with crisis or danger, by the time they get home, they have nothing left in the tank. And from the spouse side, I don't see as empty tank. I think sometimes it can feel like rejection. And I start asking myself, and maybe some of you do too, I start asking myself, did I do something wrong? Why won't he talk to me? Why does he seem so far away? I can go down a rabbit hole of all kinds of things. And then I automatically start asking these questions as he has, if you can imagine, John comes in on an empty tank. He's had a stressful call. He hasn't said anything to me. I automatically think it's me that's doing something wrong. Then I start firing questions at him, asking, is he okay? What, like, I think all of us spouses do this. What you thinking about? What you doing? And I can feel rejected because he's not talking to me, when maybe just sometimes he needs to learn to take the armor off and just learn to ask for a few minutes. So, John, when, maybe it hasn't been lately, but when was there ever a time in our lives when you realized you were coming home and the armor wasn't coming off?
I think for me, I think when I first realized it, when I was on the trail as a drill sergeant at Fort Benning, that the armor wasn't coming off, even though we had moved off post and we were 30 minutes away and I had 30 minutes to decompress. I always felt on edge. And I think the time when I realized it is when I knife edged you.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that to your spouse.
And then now, like fast forwarding, accepting Christ and going through that and going down the path I went down, and now to where I am, I realize that I try to take it off before I get home. And I know that when I hit the back gate or the front gate, if I'm still feeling it, I'll pull over for a few minutes and just take a deep breath. And I have 2 of these balls in my go bag that I take on negotiations with me. I have one sitting in my center console that I pull out constantly. And I will squeeze it just to do. It's just one of those things that when you feel it, you need to stop and recognize it and go, okay, when I get home, I know I'm going to have so-and-so's got baseball practice. So-and-so's got t-ball practice. The spouse is going to want to talk. We're supposed to go to dinner tonight. We're supposed to do this. Or, you're coming off a graveyard shift in the morning. Hey, I'm supposed to go to breakfast with my spouse. I'm just not feeling it. And I think the problem is that we bottle it up. We don't talk about it. And then it just builds and builds and builds. And then finally somebody erupts like a volcano. And you end up in my office for marriage counseling instead of in my office learning how to communicate. So that's a big thing. Instead of saying, hey, you know what, we had a really bad night. It was call after call after call after call. We just didn't get a break. Or we went from a couple weeks ago, I talked to some of our fire guys and they had 14 calls in a 48-hour period. So it was literally, they'd go back to the station, they would go home, they would tone out again, and they would go. Or our paramedics who work 48-hour shifts. They're on 48, off 96. And they're just go, 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 go. And then when the shift's over, they're like, I'm exhausted.
Well, and I think that's fair to say. Like, anybody would be exhausted after going and going. Like, if you're going, then I think it's a fair assessment to say that you'd come home exhausted and just want to relax. I know that same time when we were at Fort Benning and you were drill sergeant, my first response would be, oh, well, Dad's in a bad mood, so I'm going to take the girls and I'm going to leave. And we would go to the zoo or we would go to the water park, and we were in the problem with that is that when you're escaping and letting your spouse bottle it up and pretending and putting a facade that everything is okay, you think that your children are not seeing it, and they are. I would say if I could go back and give myself advice, I would continue to keep inviting him along with us, but be understanding if he needed to take a nap or a rest first. I would be more the wife that said, why don't you go in and relax? And the kids and I are planning on going to the water park on your next day off. I would give him a heads up and I would plan ahead more than just assuming, oh, well, he's too tired and he's not going to want to go anyway, so I'm not going to ask. Because I think for spouses, when it starts to feel like rejection, the last thing a rejected spouse wants to do is continue to ask for attention when they think they're not wanted. And I think that sometimes, if not all the time, you're always wanted. It's a lack of being able to take that armor off and come back in and be who you're meant to be in your family.
Mhm.
But you need to give each other, I think it's about patience.
I definitely think it's about patience, and I definitely think it's one of those things that we have to step on our crank a little bit to realize, hey, I need to be more present. I need to do that. And the truth of the matter is, when you're working a weekend shift and you're working a 12-hour shift and you're go, 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 or you're going from traumatic call to traumatic call to traumatic call, your adrenaline is so high that you can't come down after a call. So you stay at this high level and then you get off and you want to take your armor off. You want to take a shower. You want to crawl into bed. But here's the thing. It's like when we went to Alaska. Alaska was great. We didn't have any cell phones. We didn't have anything where...
Because they took it all from us.
They didn't take it from us. It just didn't work.
It didn't work, and they suggested most of it be put away. But I think that's like a...
But when we landed...
That's not how every day is going to be.
No, but when we landed, what happened? We got smacked in the face with that. So I think the same thing happens. You know, we tell everybody, hey, take vacation, get away. But we have to understand that when you come back, you're going to face that stuff. So you have to learn new ways to cope with it.
Well, and I think it took me a long time to learn that if I would escape the problem and allow for, John not to talk about it and I wouldn't talk about it, there was underlying frustration and I would leave thinking that that was fixing the problem. But it didn't, because when I would come back home, the problems were just waiting because they hadn't been worked out. And I think that if you address them head on, then you stop resentment from creeping in.
Well, like you said, the armor that protects you at work can isolate you at home.
I agree.
It's there to protect us. It's there. But if you're not intentional and the distance grows, that's when you have more problems. You picked a great verse, Ephesians 6. Ephesians is a great book. If you're looking for a book and you're struggling, you're like, hey, I'm not faithful, I'm not this, I'm not that. Hey, here's 2 books that I will tell you that I read consistently to help me. Ephesians, which is about love and Christ and the stuff he does for us and spiritual warfare, and then Romans. Those 2 books alone. And if I really want to get romantic, I'll throw out some Psalms, try to caress.
Back on track.
I'm just saying.
But thank you for bringing up the Bible verse. I appreciate that, because the Bible actually talks about armor too. In Ephesians 6, it talks about putting on the armor of God, but the perfect purpose of that armor is for spiritual battle. Your home is supposed to be a place of safety and covenant. Your home is not supposed to be the battlefield. The home is supposed to be, if the world is going crazy outside, you should be able to come inside and the noise shut off.
But with that, your partner, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, they're not your enemy. They're your spouse. They're your partner. They're your confidant. They're your conciliary.
I'm going to remember these words the next time we have to go to the VA. Maybe all of you caregivers, fellow caregivers out there is a famous question that every single VA caregiver asks. Or every VA doctor asks every veteran when they have to go in for care, and that is, do you feel safe at home? And this one gives deer in the headlights look to every single doctor, and sometimes doctors find it funny, and some doctors don't.
I look at it like this. So everybody has seen the Instagram videos or the Facebook videos or the TikTok videos where the husband and wife are out to dinner and the husband says, "Hey, are we going to have relations tonight?" And she goes, "No." He goes, "Oh, we're splitting the bill." Same thing. Give me a reason to say yes to the VA and I'll say yes.
Wow. Okay, you're just really throwing us out there.
Of course.
But as much as we joke about this, your wife is not the enemy and your husband is not the enemy. Your family shouldn't feel like they're dealing with the same level of intensity that exists on the job. Strong leadership means recognizing when it's time to step out of battle mode. So let's now move on to, we've had a lot of talk about it. Let's move on to some practical things that couples can do.
Okay. So, one of the first things that comes to mind is vacation. I would recommend that moment where before you walk into the house, you
Give your spouse a heads up.
give your spouse a heads up, mentally shift your gears a little bit to where you're, okay, what happened at work today happened at work today. I'm struggling with that, but let me go in and, one thing, and I wish I would have realized this a long time ago. Hug is...
You say that because your wife's love language is physical touch.
But a hug can sometimes give you that 5-10 minute break mentally that you need to go, okay, I'm okay.
If you're not doing it already, we do this with our youngest daughter. I was going to say our teenager, and she is a teenager. But it is called a 1 minute hug. So if you are feeling on edge, if you are feeling like you're going to rip each other's heads off, give each other a 1 minute hug and set the timer for 1 minute. There is something to be said that I think there's something in the brain that mentally releases the problems of the day during 1 minute hugs.
And so to our single listeners that are out there, if you have a pet, a dog, a cat, a ferret, whatever it is, do a 1 minute hug with them.
Well, I don't know if cats will let them do that. Dogs would.
Yeah. I have had, a motto that I learned when I was in school, and I tell people all the time, therapists need therapists too. Hey, I have a therapist that I talk to. He's probably going to watch this and be like, you need to schedule an appointment, but that's beside the point. But I have caught myself bringing one of the dogs into the office and talking to them, and there's no judgment. They're not listening. They're listening to you. They're concentrating.
Can't speak English.
They don't speak English.
So they can't talk back.
Well, they say something back. I'm sure it's not always good, but and here's the thing: your spouse isn't going to judge you. She married you for a reason. He married you for a reason. They decided to go out on a date with you for a reason. So, with that being said, let your guard down and say, "Hey, today sucked. It's okay. Today sucked. I had to tell somebody that their child was dead. I had to do this. This negotiation didn't go good. I had to sit in where we terminated somebody." Whatever it is.
Well, and I think we'll go into it a lot more in a later episode, but I also think that I need you to be my friend right now is something we say a lot. When John needs to talk about something hard, sometimes you just want to talk to a friend. Sometimes you want to take that spouse hat off or that mom hat off or that soccer coach or whatever hat you're wearing that day. John will just walk in sometimes and he will say, I just need my friend right now. And when he says that, I know that he needs to download some and I just sit and listen just like a friend would. So I think remember your friends first.
Well, you touched on something. So before you were lovers, you were friends. So it's okay to be friends with your spouse.
Tell me about the one time we went to marriage counseling and the marriage counselor laughed at us because we were the reason. Do you remember why we were there? We were there, so
I can't remember what I had for breakfast.
We had so many issues that never sent us to marriage counseling, except for the one time I remember you looked at me and you said, "I don't like you at all." And I said, "I don't like you either. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't like you." And I remember sitting in a, was it an army chaplain or secular? Yes, an army chaplain.
Who's a mentor now?
Who's a mentor
That's
now.
the funny
And we
part.
went into the office and he was like, "Okay, kids, what's the issue?" Thinking we had this like big story to tell him. And John and I literally looked at him and said, "We just don't like each other." And he said, "You guys are seriously sitting in my office right now because you don't like each other." And we both agreed that when the like is gone, the rest of it does nothing. The rest of it does nothing. You can fall in and out of love with your spouse every day. The icky, lovey, squishy feelings can be there. They can be there all the time, and then they can be there not at all. But if our foundation goes away, I think that day we realize, like, if I don't like you anymore, there's something real bad going on. So, if you are sitting here listening and thinking, this sounds like us. Maybe you are tired of Vicky Love stuff. Maybe you are feeling like roommates. Maybe you're feeling just friends. We want you to know that you are not alone. And a lot of couples in this community deal with the exact same struggle. The good news is awareness is the first step. And once you recognize what is happening, you can start making intentional changes.
Stealing my line.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. You can take mine. That's right there.
Okay. Hey, next week we're going to talk about another big topic, which I am not looking forward to. I did not pick this topic.
I picked it.
You did pick it.
I did pick it.
And we're going to talk about anger.
Anger is not your only emotion.
Yes. But it is not our only emotion. But here's the kicker. So it is okay to be angry at work, to kick in that door, to rush into the fire, to lift that gurney, to load the ambulance, to push the drug, to push the IV, to do what you have to do. That anger is okay. We're talking about the anger when it comes home and it turns into a straight up fight with your spouse of World War III, where she throws an egg at you and you're throwing a hand grenade back at her, or vice versa, and you just keep escalating up until it's World War III in your house. That's not
misplaced anger.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place for anger. There's a time and a place for all of our emotions. But not in our safe space.
That's right.
With our spouse.
So, as we talked about the subject today, we kind of covered some stuff. One thing that I think we both want to get across is, hey, it's okay to not be okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to pick up the phone and say, hey, I need some help.
Mm-hmm.
I'm struggling. If you're in Hood County, you can call me. If you're in Fort Worth, you're in Dallas, you can call me. If you're, out of the state of Texas, hey, your department probably has a chaplain. If it doesn't, call me. We will find you somebody. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. If you're in the military still, hey, reach out. We'll help you the best we can, and get you the help you need. I still have friends that are there. Yes, most of them are sergeant majors and senior officers now and stuff like that because they're all old.
We're old.
I'm still young.
We're old.
According to the Afghan people, this means I'm sophisticated.
You're really sophisticated.
I'm very sophisticated because my hair is gray too, which is why I have my hat on backwards.
Really sophisticated.
Yes. Also, just a shout out. If you go to jumpmasterlifecoaches.org, we have a blog on there that has a bunch of different topics. Some of those topics we're going to talk about on our podcast. Some of them we're not going to. But they're there to give you practical advice and things to help you. I try to post, and I'll be honest, it's one of those things that I'll literally be sleeping at night and a story will pop into my head and I'll come in here and bang out a blog. They're meant to be 3 to 5 minutes long, to help you.
The blogs are my favorite part of the website.
Yeah. It also says some other therapy things that we do to help people. Another thing is, Sarah is an accomplished writer for children's books. So if you go and search Sarah Hosey, if you can't figure out how to spell it, it's right there at the bottom of the screen.
On Amazon.
On Amazon, she has some great kid books. There's even books, John the Jackal, where it talks about me and my dysfunctional friends.
I'll have to talk about that book one time.
We'll have to talk about that book. But there's things on there. Also, you can search Chaplain John Hosey on there, and I have a bunch of Bible studies and devotionals and stuff to help in everyday things. They're there.
I think our goal on top of everything else is to let everyone know that your marriage does not have to be perfect to be okay. You are not alone, and marriage is tough. And like we tell our kids, marriage only works when two forgivers get together and forgive each other a whole heck of a lot.
Yep.
So we hope that this podcast, if you have any questions, if you have a topic where you're like, this is my struggle in our marriage, and you want to reach out, and we won't call you out by name.
Website at jumpmasterlifecoaches.org.
Yeah, just send us a message and maybe we can cover your subject too. We're just hoping that our heart for this is that you guys will realize that you're not alone and that we are here for you, and do the best we can.
Yeah. So again, website at jumpmasterlifecoaches.org. Yeah, and we'll help you however we can.
Mm-hmm.
If you have questions, gripes, concerns, if you have gripes, you know the number by heart. It's 1-800. You figure that out yourself. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so again, we're here to help you guys, and we hope this helps you, and we look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Mm-hmm.
And stay positive, stay out of trouble if you need anything.
And be safe. Be safe.
Yeah, and for all of deputies, agents, federal, local, state, troopers, everybody, make sure you wear your vests.
Yeah.
It is a dangerous time out there. And if you're hurting, do not hesitate to reach out to your buddies. So,
Or to us.
yeah, or to us.
Mm-hmm.
So we love y'all. Be
Love
safe,
you.
and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening.